fly to Gamescom? Nah, we'll take the Borderlands 2 bus, thanks. An 8-hour thrill ride from London all the way to Cologne. It looks like our brave Access TV troops are ready to roll, but I can't help thinking they've forgotten something. Rob! So we all made it. First port of call after admiring Cologne's cultural delights, cathedral, padlocks, this thing, was the highly anticipated PlayStation conference. Highlights included Media Molecule announcing new PlayStation Vita title Tearaway, the beautifully sinister Puppeteer, and torrential excellence of Rain from Sony's Japan studio. It was then on to the show floor itself, where Access community presenter Mark Humes guided us through the delights of the PlayStation area. Over to you, Mark.
The PlayStation booth is absolutely huge. It looks very comfy, very casual and relaxed. I like the fact that there's beanbags everywhere. Each section's kind of broken down. We've got Little Big Planet 2 here, we've got Wipeout. Big presents for PlayStation All-Stars, which we have up there. Seems like we've got a couple of zones, like we have PlayStation Move all over here. We've got all the different Move kind of titles coming up. Oh, we've got the Wonderbook you can see over there as well. The new Wonderbook tucked away in the corner there with stuff going on. Everybody here is very handsome. I feel a bit out of place. Oh, we've got these little Big Planet karting here, made from real karts. Got The Last of Us presentation already queuing up. That's only going to get bigger. And you can play some PlayStation All-Stars while you wait as well. Assassin's Creed 3, let's see if we can go find some of that. So we're just checking out the naval combat for Assassin's Creed 3 here. It looks absolutely incredible. You can see here that they've got an enemy ship coming up. And just look at the effects, the water effects on the ship and everything going on. It just looks incredible. Some God of War down here. Wow, I get to play some games. Very small playthrough of multiplayer there on God of War. Looks quite fun. It's kind of one of those things where you just get to smash the crap out of somebody. You get to just smash the hell out of someone. Yeah, it looks quite fun. Liberation's already very busy, as you can see if we look in here. Jam-packed. Okay, so I'm checking out Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. This is actually my first experience of a PS Vita as well, so this is going to be interesting for me. It looks, I've got to say, on the screen it looks amazing already. Having never picked up a PS Vita before, like, I'm genuinely impressed about how good it looks. Very, very good first impressions. The game looks amazing. The touchscreen controls seem really a nice way to interact with the game world. And yeah, it just looks fantastic. So Assassin's Creed Liberation, check that one out as well.
And he also got attacked by zombies twice, hugged by a terrifying rabbit, and nearly swallowed by an ever so slightly nightmarish sackboy. It wasn't all fun and games, however. See, we interviewed a load of developers too. Alright, it is all fun and games.
Very excited to be here in the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 interview room. I'm here with John from Treyarch. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Oh, thanks for coming by.
That's all right. Now, Treyarch haven't done a direct sequel for a Call of Duty game before. What was it about Black Ops that, really encouraged you to do so?
Well, there were a couple things. As the team came off the first Black Ops game, they really enjoyed that Black Ops style of storytelling. There's the history that you know, and then there's sort of the pieces of history that you don't, and we give you a little insight into those. But also, the team really kind of took a step back and asked themselves, what can we do to give players something that they've never experienced in a Call of Duty game before? And they really gravitated toward this idea of a near future setting, and ultimately you get a net benefit of new guns, vehicles, gadgets, and ultimately a lot of gameplay. I'm really looking forward to Strike Force levels in the campaign level, and the way the team has approached create a class in multiplayer, personally for me, makes a huge difference. It really allows you to cater to your individual play style in a way that you haven't been able to before.
Well, I'm here with Brian from Paramount, and we're talking Star Trek. Brian, thank you very much for talking to us at PlayStation Access. We've just seen some fantastic footage of the game that we can't show to anybody else yet. We've had a bit of a sneak peek. One thing that we saw is you've clearly focused on the relationship between Spock and Kirk. Can you tell us about the gameplay applications of that relationship?
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at what Star Trek is, it really is the story of two characters. It's Kirk and Spock, and we've tried to put that throughout the entire game and create a game that was really focused on co-op, where you're playing as Kirk. If you want to rush into battle and actually bash somebody, you can. Or if you want to play as Spock, be a little more logical about your approach, you can do that as well. And each one sort of has different attributes and different sort of gameplay, but also sometimes a little bit different narrative beat that happens. So our goal is to have a really authentic Star Trek world where you feel like you've, really participated along with Kirk and Spock, but also by the end of the game, we want you to switch controllers and be like, now I want to see it through the other character's eyes. The villain was one of the first conversations we had as a studio with our filmmaker friends over at Bad Robot, and the very first thing that came to mind were the Gorn. If you look back at the classic Star Trek episode, the Gorn have been in one episode almost 45 years ago, and they're still one of the most iconic science fiction villains of all time, and there's a reason for that.
Now, also, we saw that we've got the original cast. We've got Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, and Simon Pegg. What was it like working with those guys?
It's unbelievable. We had Zachary Quinto, who plays Spock, in the recording booth not that long ago, and he was like, hey, Brian, I wouldn't say this line like this. Spock would deliver it another way, and that kind of collaboration is absolutely essential to make sure that this really feels authentic.
Okay, we are here at Warner Brothers Games, and I'm here with Ed Boon, and we are talking about Injustice. Thank you very much for talking to me, Ed. Now, the first question to kind of really ask you is, working with such a rich universe like the DC universe, is there anything that's really brought to the fighting game kind of genre that you could talk about?
Well, it's certainly in terms of designing the characters, it let us they almost wrote themselves. When you have somebody like Batman, right off the bat you're going to need some kind of gadgets with him. You're going to need a batarang and a smoke bomb. You're going to need a grappling hook. All of these things that are kind of synonymous with the character. So a lot of the characters, their moves and abilities just really kind of wrote themselves. But the general kind of feeling of the game, the whole kind of big epic Battle of the Gods thing was, just kind of from the DC universe in general. That's the world that they live in, and that's what we're really trying to communicate with this game. I guess the biggest challenge that we had was just the variety of the characters. When you have a character as powerful as Superman, you have a character like Harley Quinn, Batman, Nightwing, all kind of like human characters. How do you even the play field to make it a fun game to play, but not Superman dominating every single character. The motivation for the characters, the differences and balances of powers of the characters are all explained in this story mode in terms of how it works together.
Fantastic.
So that's Gamescom done for another year then, but you can still check out all our videos from the show under the Access tab on the PlayStation Store or at youtube.com/PlayStation Access. And sensibly, we didn't get the Borderlands 2 bus back to England. No, we cycled it instead for Games Aid. Rob is writing this very episode in the support van. He's writing what I'm saying right now. This is weird. Anyway, catch the full report, including all the punctures, sweat and sadness very soon. Guten Tag! No, that's wrong, isn't it?